here. Here's Jokic, Nikola Jokic, tossing Jamal Murray and himself into a pool to celebrate the title. I'm looking at this pool, and I'm a little worried about Jokic fitting. But,
is it a cold tub? Like, what pool is that?
Do not know. I don't know. Is that one of those we got a treadmill under there or something like that? I don't know which pool it was.
It looks like maybe the cold tub is on the other side, so maybe you're right. Maybe it's just
I don't know.
Regular room.
It's the pool that you jump in after you win the title.
Side.
Which one's the cold tub?
I do think that's the wave pool.
There you go.
Not that it matters. It just looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Can we do that after the show?
I think that we can.
Right here.
I do not think we should do it in the East River.
No?
I think if there's a pool of some sort, that might work. I hope you've enjoyed that little breakdown of the Denver Nuggets, a team facility, right? Where they get their treatment and everything after the game. Welcome back to Get Up. We are coming to you live from the Seaport, and we are brought to you by Grey Goose. We are talking all morning about the Denver Nuggets NBA title. They beat the Miami Heat last night. Let's show you how it happened. Game 5 of the finals. Nuggets with a chance to clinch. Here's Jokic looking like he's ready to mess some people up. Third quarter, 4 minutes remaining. Nuggets are down by 2. Jamal Murray throws it away. Heat on the run. Kyle Lowry finds a cutting Caleb Martin for the layup.
The Heat led by as many as 10 in this ballgame. Through 3 quarters, it looked like they might be up to something.
However, here's Jokic yelling at his teammates to make sure that would not be the case. Michael Porter Jr. would respond after this little swat by Jokic.
This is crazy.
How about this play?
Ooh.
Through the legs.
Behind the back? What's behind the back? Oh, behind the back between the legs.
What a move by Michael Porter Jr. He had a big night.
Traffic.
Fourth quarter now, under 5 to play. Nuggets up by 5. Jokic gets the layup inside. Nuggets by 7.
Just unguardable at that side.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Not long after, Heat looking to respond down 7. Butler dribbles to the right wing and hits the 3. Here comes Jimmy Butler. Here comes playoff Jimmy. Heat back within 4. Here's Jimmy again.
This is where it gets tricky. I know, Hahn, but I've seen Jimmy.
Could you imagine if they won this game? That would be a controversial call. There's no way that's a foul on
Jimmy comes to the corner like that all the time. I'm glad the foul was upheld
on review. It could have been a controversy, but it wasn't. Anyway, this shot here put the Heat up by 1. Ensuing possession for the Nuggets. Jokic is going to drive right. He's going to get the layup. Again, cannot be stopped. Nuggets retake the lead. Then, after some Butler free throws, Nuggets back down 1. Murray, I don't know what he was thinking there. That's a tough shot, but Bruce Brown is there for the putback layup. And Denver is back up by 1. 34 seconds left. Heat down by 1. Jimmy Butler with the ball, but he's looking to pass. Stolen away by Contavious Caldwell-Pope. The Heat have to foul. Take another look. Butler.
Unbelievable. Literally on my couch, my jaw dropped. Because we were getting Jimmy fourth quarter buckets, and then wow.
Ran out of gas.
Nobody told Jimmy. Heat down by 3 after free throws with 22 seconds left. Jimmy to tie. Doesn't go in. Bruce Brown another rebound. Murray and Jokic deliver the first ever title to Denver. All bunch of celebration going on. Nuggets NBA champions. They win Game 5, 94-89, and head coach Michael Malone says they're not done yet.
All the hard work, all the sacrifice, all the dedication, all culminated with us winning a championship. But I got news for everybody out there. We're not satisfied with 1. We want more. We want more.
What do you think, Alan Hahn?
Who's that everybody out there he's talking to? Would it be the owner? Would it be front office and ownership? Where he's literally just saying, hey, I know that there's a new CBA and it's going to be really expensive to keep our group together, but we got a lot more winning to do and you need to be part of it. And Stan Kroenke has now completed the trifecta. He has a Super Bowl, he has a Stanley Cup, and now he has an NBA championship. And Stan Kroenke is a huge basketball fan. He loves basketball. So this probably is the crown jewel for him. But you can't be satisfied with just 1, and that's what Michael Malone is saying. You know, later on in the locker room as well, he's with his group, and he said, we won as a family, we stay together as a family. More message sending that this team has got more winning to do, and they want the opportunity to do it.
Can they be a dynasty, Monica?
Yes, the ability to. Yes, I would think so. Will is a slightly different conversation, but you look, their core is going to be intact. 2 being Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Some folks may be willing to throw MPJ in there in terms of a guy that's under contract, but it's going to be expensive, as Wendy has taught us in terms of this new CBA. It's going to be expensive. But if you keep those 2 together, Nikola Jokic led the postseason in 3 categories from the center spot.
Yeah.
He's the type of guy that guys want to play with. Jamal Murray's heart, his comeback story. Like, there is something so beautifully understated but confident about this group. I just think you admire what they've been able to do. These are guys that they've drafted. They've been true to their program. There was no cutting corners as far as this victory.
Obviously a great team, and it's fun to imagine them staying together and trying to do it again. But Brian Windhorst, give us the nuts and bolts. What is it? How are the Nuggets set up to keep this thing together and make another run at it?
Yeah, so the most penal stuff for the new CBA doesn't really come in until after next season. So I don't see why the Nuggets can't keep this team mostly intact. Bruce Brown is the big question mark. They don't really have a mechanism to give him his market value. He hinted last night that money won't be the deciding factor, but I would advise him to go get paid. They just made a trade last week with the Oklahoma City Thunder to acquire 3 additional draft picks in this draft and next year's draft. Last year, they had 2 first-round picks. We saw Christian Brown. They obviously have another guy in Peyton Watson. They are primed to do this. Most importantly, Jokic signed a contract extension last summer when no one was paying attention. He's locked in for big money for a long time. That's what's most important.
You know, Monica mentioned Jokic led the playoffs in points, rebounds, and assists. The first player in NBA history to lead the entire postseason in all 3 categories. In 20 games during his playoff run, he recorded a triple-double in 10 of them. That is the most anyone's ever had in a single postseason. Tim Legler, when you're watching Nikola Jokic and what he just did over the last couple of months, please put it into context for us. What do you feel like you saw?
Well, listen, first, I just want to say I'm so glad Michael Malone did not say, not 1, not 2, not 3, because we know those don't age well, right? That sentence didn't age very well. So I'm glad he said what he said. That's fine. Off and shoot elbow jumpers, or like he did last night, a 3-point shot. Spot up and shoot threes. Lead the break by getting a defensive rebound and making great decisions in the open floor. And then this is the best dribble handoff game this league has seen. So you add all that up, there's no real answer for him. The reason, I think, though, they could be on the verge of the start of something great with multiple championships going forward is because the personalities fit. They mesh. Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, these guys not only complement each other on the court, their personalities gel. And they also have a coach that I think should get more credit because think about how badly he called them out after game 2. In an era when coaches are so reluctant to do that, he has enough cachet with this team to be able to challenge them the way he did and get that kind of response where they win 3 straight games, tighten things up defensively, and win this series. That goes a long way going forward as well because there's tremendous respect and trust going back and forth both ways. It's always going to come down to how do you reinvent your supporting cast. That's always going to be a challenge with the money that Murray and Jokic are going to be paid.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, they have all the pieces to continue this, of course. The coach, the stars, 2 of them, and also the money. They have an owner that does have deep pockets. And one thing that also you have to think that what last night did was send that message around the West, like I had alluded to yesterday, and let stars know in the West, you got to get through Denver now if you want to win one more ring. Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, maybe even Luka, what you got going on in Dallas, is it good enough to beat what they got in Denver right now, what has come to fruition as a championship team that lost 1 game since the conference finals began? 1. That's amazing. And now, keep this in mind as well. Usually after championships, star players around the league generally go to social media, like say something about whatever that team was. You heard nothing from Steph Curry on social media, nothing from Kevin Durant on social media. And you know what LeBron James tweeted about? Ironically, Taco Bell, Taco Tuesday. Why is that ironic? Well, because Nikola Jokic was drafted during a Taco Bell commercial. And so we know that LeBron's been doing this Taco Tuesday thing, and that's the only thing he had. Nothing about the greatness of the Nuggets and what he saw. They all know, and they might not want to acknowledge it publicly, but in their minds they were watching last night, and they know we got to be good enough to beat that team, and I don't know if they can get there.
And to be good enough to beat that team, they got to be good enough to stop that guy. Like, I mean, Jokic going forward, he's the biggest reason, right, that they're set up.
I mean, think about it. In their postseason run, we saw 2 of the most versatile defenders with size, Anthony Davis and Bam Adebayo. Light work for Jokic, right? Like, it didn't necessarily fare well. But he's just such a tough cover because whether you send 2, obviously he's a willing passer. Do you have a guy with size that can match up and make it difficult? And so, yeah, stopping this defense or stopping this offense is going to pose a problem to the rest of the league throughout. I mean, you're watching him versus Bam, and I get it. Bam is undersized at the center position, but Bam is also one of the more versatile guys that plays center position.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.